Okay, hello students. Our next topic is types of CPU processing. So, in this topic, we will discuss how a processor process our instructions or program instructions. Okay, so there can be different types of processing techniques by processor. So, there are three types of processing done by processor. One is serial processing, second one is parallel processing, and third one is pipelining processing. So we will see one by one all this processing. So first processing is serial processing, means when you write a program or software, when you give it to processor to process it. So basically a program consists of instructions, in small instructions, okay, that that can be called as one program. So these instructions are passed to CPU, and CPU will process those instructions as per their decoding or as per their meaning. Then this that will be processed, and some results will be obtained and again given to memory or some output device. Okay, तो फर्स्ट जो प्रोसेसिंग है दैट इज सीरियल प्रोसेसिंग. तो in this processing, processor process and execute one instruction at a time. So the name itself says that serial processing means one instruction at a time. If your program have 10 instructions, so first instruction will go to processor, it will be computed, processed, and you get some output. Then second instruction, then it will process it, then third instruction, fourth, 5, 6 till 10th instruction. So all instruction goes serially and will be processed by your processor. So an instruction consists of three steps, uh, three basic steps: fetch, decode, and execute. So before executing your instruction or calculating your instruction, you have to fetch your instruction from memory to processor. Okay, so first you give your instruction from memory, RAM or primary memory to processor, then decode it. Okay, so you have to decode the instruction, means the meaning of instruction. Then you start, the processor will start executing it. Okay, so for every instruction this process will be followed. Okay, so instruction directly will not be executed. First you have to fetch from memory, then you have to decode, means find the meaning of instruction, what processor should do. Then the instruction as per decoding will be executed. Okay, so this is the diagram for sequential. So serial processing is also known as sequential processing, and parallel processing is also given. So program CPU means one task or one instruction at a time, then you get some result, then second instruction or task at a time, then you get result. So you have to run your instructions or program serially. And second type is parallel processing. So you can see in diagram, one program is executed by multiple CPUs. So task 1 is performed by CPU, task 2 is performed by CPU, and task 3 is performed by CPU, and you get the result. Okay, and again you can feed result to the program. Okay, so parallel processing, multiple processes are done at the same time. For example, network services and supercomputers do parallel processing. Okay, so when you require results more fast, okay, then you can do parallel processing. So you can assign multiple tasks to multiple processors also. Okay, So that way you can perform parallel processing and you get results more faster. The performance of your system will be more high compared to serial processing, because you can process data parallelly independent of each other. So you get a high performance from parallel processing computers. So the reason is because you can execute more instruction in the same time, but in serial processing you cannot do that. Okay, so this is a parallel processing. Then pipelining processing. So in this processing, a technique where the process begin executed in a second instruction before the first instruction has been completed, as several instructions can be executed simultaneously, each at different processing stage. So pipelining does not reduce the time to complete an instruction, but increases the number of instructions that can be processed at once. Okay, so you can see the diagram. In diagram, 1 to 14 is given as time duration for execution of a instruction, and in x-axis or y-axis, x-axis is given as time and y-axis is given as instruction 1 2 3 4 up to 9. So every instruction have execution cycle or some steps, we can say, that is fetch instruction, then decode instruction, then compute, okay, operation, address, fetch address of operand, whatever operand is given to instruction will be. So first you have to find the address of operand, then fetch the operand, then execute instruction, then write operand. Whatever result you got, you have to write in memory or some output device. So this six steps you have, every instruction should follow to complete it. Okay, so in pipelining what will happen, when the first in 1 second first instruction is fetched, means read by your processor from memory, we can say. Then when the second starts, the first instruction is decoded, but the same time second instruction will be fetched. Okay, and in third second the address of operand of that instruction is calculated, but in third second instruction 2's instruction is decoded. Okay, so this way, the when the first instruction is doing something, then second will start after one interval of time or two interval of time. So this happens to instruction 3, when first instruction is doing fetching operand in fourth second, and instruction 4 is fetched from memory fi. Okay, so that way, with the timeline your instructions are fetched, it will not wait till the first instruction will complete. Okay, it will start execution after a certain interval, then next instruction will also start after a certain interval or step. So it will not wait, next instruction will not wait till the completion of one instruction. Okay, so this is called pipelining, but it will not save your time. Okay, the instruction 1 will take whatever time it required, instruction 2 will take whatever time it will require, but the processing will starts early. Okay, so overall time will be saved, but the time of execution of a particular instruction will not be saved. Okay, so this is called pipelining. Then next is processor speed. So in computers, every processor or CPU unit have some speed. So processor is the main component or brain of your computer. So processor data and information as per user instruction. So it processes data information as per user instruction or program. Performance of computer system depend on processor's capability. Okay. So whenever you go to purchase your computer or mobile phone, okay, what you will see, कौन सा processor है, which processor your device is using. So whenever you go to purchase, first thing you have to see the processor speed, how fast it calculate, what is the number of instruction it can execute per second. Okay, so more the number of instructions per second executed, more faster is your CPU processor. So you have to find how many instructions it execute in 1 second. So instructions processed by a processor is measured in millions of instructions per second. Millions of instructions per second is the unit to calculate speed of processor. So in 1 second, a processor can execute 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs instruction per second, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. So more the millions per second, more will be the speed of your processor. And processor also categorized as for how many bits are executed per second, means number of bits, 8 bit, 16 bit, 64 bit, 32 bit. So more the number of bits per second, or more, if a processor is processing 32 bits in per second or in one time, then it is more faster compared to 8-bit processor. So in early times, processor are of 8-bit, 16-bit, but now we can have processor of 32 bit, 64 bits and more. So more the number of bits means more instructions you can execute, more data you can execute. Okay, so processor speed is very important to get faster results or to perform multiple tasks or to run multiple programs at a time. So you need more processing speed. Okay, so you can do multitasking on the same time. Okay, next topic is cache memory. So along with processor and main memory, or we can say RAM, there is a small memory between CPU or inside CPU and main memory. So this memory is used to make your execution more faster. Okay, because reading from main memory or primary memory take more time, and to read instructions from main memory and pass it to CPU processor. So what we require? So we need an intermediate memory that hold your instruction and pass it to processor very fast. So a small in size memory is attached between main memory and CPU. Okay, so what this memory do? Whatever instructions which are required frequently by your CPU will be stored in cache memory and will be provided to CPU whenever required for execution. So instead of looking in main memory again and again, what the processor will do or control unit will do, it will see in your cache memory instead of main memory. So most of operations are repeated in nature or required same kind of instructions, so it will be better store in cache memory instead of main memory. So this take reading time less compared to reading directly from main memory. Okay, so your cache memory can be in your CPU itself, or it can be outside on your motherboard, or on your board of your computer, laptop, okay, whatever device, computer, kind of computer you have. Okay, so to reduce the access time or reading time, or we can say, okay, so that's why we require cache memory. So it also have in our mobile phones. Okay, whenever we have less space, then we clear our cache memory. Why we do this? Because the repeated instructions are stored there that are not in use, then we have to clear them. Okay, so cache memory have access time of 100 nanoseconds while the main memory have 100 nanoseconds. So you can see the difference. Your cache memory can be accessed within 100 nanosecond, but main memory require 700, so it is 7 times faster. Okay, so cache memory is very important to increase the speed of your processing. Okay, so there are three levels of cache memory, or types of memory: L1, L2 and L3. Okay, so these are the levels given to cache memory, and time spent in accessing a program in cache memory is 15 to 25 nanoseconds. Okay, so for accessing a program in cache memory is more faster or required less time compared to main memory. So levels of cache memory are L1. So most of computers or devices, L1 cache is in built on your processor itself, or integrated on your processor, and it may be of size 120 kilobyte. Okay, so it store less instruction, but process or transfer or access time is very less. Okay, so L1 has less size, but access time is very fast. L2 has more size more than L1, around 1 KB, 1000 KB, or 1 MB of data can be stored, or instruction can be stored, but have less access time compared to L1. And L3 have more size, 2 MB, 6 MB, or almost 10 MB, store more data, more instruction, but access time is less. So when if you increase the size of memory, your access time will also increase. So RAM is of 4 GB, 2 GB, so it takes time to find instructions, where are instruction, how will pass, so it takes time. Okay, so less the size of memory, more will be the access time. Okay, sorry, less will be the access time, takes less time to read instructions from memory. Okay, so hard disk is very slow in accessing, because hard disk have more space and required more time to find your data, to locate your data on your hard disk. Okay, so this way you can attach cache memory for more performance, to reduce time of processing. So you can see the diagram: CPU, then level 1 cache memory, then level 2, then level 3, then main memory. So this way you can attach your memory cache memory through between CPU and main memory, or processor and main memory. So L1 will be the more fastest, and the data between L1 L2 is slightly slower than L1 and processor, then L2 L3 little slower than slower in level 3 and main memory. So this way we pass on our instruction from main memory to, suppose we have thousands of instruction in main memory, then we give 100 to L3, then we give 50 to L1 L2, then we give 10 to 20 instruction to our L1. So this 20 instruction will be read by CPU. It will not see 1000 instructions of a program in main memory. Okay, so if it find the appropriate instruction, it will execute. Okay, and give it so those instructions which are going to be executed or which required frequently will be stored or given to L1. Okay, so less instruction will be stored in this, but those are required by CPU will be stored or will have high priority store in L1, L2 and L3. Okay, so this is the end of our lecture, and I will provide more lectures till Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so almost 3 to 4 lectures will be required to complete this chapter, and if you got books, then practice from books. Objective questions you have to practice to. Okay, so we end the lecture here and continue in next lecture. Okay, thank you.